Hey everybody, Matt here, and I've got less than 2 weeks to go until I set out on the Appalachian Trail. And so one thing that I've been making sure of is that my pack and my gear are all ready to go. And so I've got a full pack here, and today I want to break down all the gear that I'm going to take on my thru hike of the Appalachian Trail. So if we're going to talk about gear, we have to start out with the big three. And that's three of the most important pieces of gear that you've got: your pack, your sleep system, and your shelter. These are three of the most expensive pieces and some of the most important pieces in your pack as well. And so the first one we're going to talk about is pack. And my pack that I'm going to be carrying is the Osprey Exos 58. And 58-liter pack comes in at around 2 pounds total. Some great functionality, a well-regarded and well-reviewed pack that a lot of thru hikers take on the Appalachian Trail. The next thing that we're going to talk about is my tent. So for my tent, I'm going to carry the Nemo Hornet 2P, two-person tent. And originally I had a one-person tent, tried it out, but it was just a little too thin, a little too narrow, a little too cramped for me. And I actually upgraded to the Nemo Hornet two-person tent. It looks pretty small. It comes in at just around, this is probably the size of a Nalgene water bottle, and that's because I've actually got the poles right here. I'll carry the poles on the outside of my pack. But this tent and the poles in total come in at just over 2 pounds. So extremely lightweight, it's extremely roomy, and it was just what I needed because a one-person tent was just a little too cramped for me. So the Nemo Hornet 2P is the tent that I'll be taking with me on the trail. The next thing we're going to talk about is sleeping pad. You want something comfortable when you sit down, lay down to rest at night. And so the pad that I actually use is the Big Agnes Q-Core Insulated Deluxe Sleeping Pad. And so when blown up, it's about the entire length of my body and also gets to be about 2 to 3 inches thick off the ground. It's extremely comfortable. Looking forward to a lot of really good night's sleep on this. Already had a lot of really good night's sleep. And so this is what's gonna really help my body rest when I finish at night. The next thing is my sleeping bag. And I'm actually not taking a sleeping bag, I'm taking a sleeping quilt. And quilts are kind of a new trend in the thru hiking industry and in the thru hiking culture. And so the difference between a sleeping bag and a sleeping quilt is really the fact that a quilt has no underbelly and also has no zippers. And so it takes out some of the extra weight that would be there from the zippers and from the underbelly. It has a sewn foot box to help keep your feet warm in cold weather. But I actually went with the REI Magna sleeping quilt down to 30 degrees. Because I'm leaving in May, I probably won't have too much very, very extremely cold weather. And so a quilt from a weight perspective at only around 1 pound 4 ounces made a whole lot of sense. And also cut out some of the weight from a regular sleeping bag. And so that's where I'll be going with the REI Co-op Magna 30-degree sleeping quilt. So the clothes that I'm wearing are extremely important. And first, for shorts, I've got a pair of Patagonia 9 Trails running shorts, extremely lightweight and extremely breathable pair of shorts right here. The next thing is a pair of Ex Officio boxer briefs as underwear. They're antimicrobial, so they're supposed to go a few days before they actually start retaining any odor. So that's gonna be a good thing. As a shirt, I've got just a regular REI outdoor shirt that I'll wear. Next thing I'll carry is a buff, and that's where I can wear it around my neck, can wear it around my wrist, can wear it around my head, just to keep me cool and also wipe off any sweat. For socks, socks are extremely, extremely important. And wool socks, and everybody, and I have worn them as well, swears by this brand, Darn Tough. A USA company based in Vermont. I'll be taking 2 pairs of Darn Tough wool hiking socks in my pack, and they're going to help with my feet, be extremely important and extremely crucial because my feet are what's going to get me all the way to Maine. Next thing, for a jacket, I'm going to take a Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisperer jacket, and this is just a down puffy jacket right now stuffed into its pocket. And I just wanted to show how small it gets. It's extremely lightweight, comes in at under a pound. Sometimes the keys in my pocket are even heavier than the jacket itself. And so extremely warm, lightweight, Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisperer puffy jacket. And then I've got a performance pullover to help keep me warm on those cool mountain nights. As for shoes, my feet are what are gonna get me from here to Maine. And so shoes are extremely important along with socks. And so as the shoes that I'll be wearing on the trail, they are Ultra Lone Peak 4 trail runners. And this may not have been what you were expecting. Maybe you were expecting a high cut standard hiking boot. But when you're out there on the trail, you want something, number one, that's lightweight, number two, that's breathable, and number three, that dries off easily. And for a trail runner, it does all of those things. And it's sturdy, it's got the sole of a boot, and then kind of the foot of a regular tennis shoe. And Ultra's got an extremely wide toe box, extremely breathable, extremely comfortable shoe that I'm ready to hike in. And shout out to my dad for finding several pairs on sale to help me get from here to Maine. Thanks, Dad. So for camp, I will be taking these. Crocs are extremely lightweight in your pack during the day, and then they're extremely breathable for your feet after a long day's hike. And so my camp shoe will be a pair of Crocs. So while I'm out there, I gotta do two things. I gotta eat, and that also means I gotta cook. And so here I have my cook set. And this is a GSI Outdoors Pinnacle Soloist cook set. It's this pot and also this lid. And so the pot folds open where it's got a nice little handle. You can take the lid off. Inside, I've got a couple things. I have my pot scraper so that I can clean my pot after I've eaten. I've also got my stove. And for my stove, I've got an MSR Pocket Rocket 2. It comes in this little bag. And then this is the stove that I will be cooking on. Extremely small, extremely lightweight stove. Pocket Rocket and Pocket Rocket 2 have been extremely popular stoves throughout the years for thru hikers. Comes in very small, very lightweight, and then a flame will come out there to help me boil water and cook other food. I'll also be taking the propane that I'll need to power the stove. And so this propane and fuel will be something that I carry along the way. And every night I will cook my dinner in here and also eat it with my Sea to Summit spork. Next, for those long days and those big climbs, I've got a pair of REI Traverse hiking poles. The next thing that I've got is a Thermarest closed core foam sit pad. And so just so you're not always sitting on the dirt, so that you can actually slightly sit on something comfortable, this nice little sit pad to put my keister on after a long day's walk. Next item up is a trowel. Sometimes gonna have to poop in the woods, gonna need something to dig a little cat hole. Other items that kind of just come in like a little ditty bag of sorts. This is my power charger that I'm going to use to be powering and charging my phone while I'm out there in the wilderness. It's a RAV Power 16,750 milliampere charger. Could get about 2 to 3 charges on an iPhone with this. So I have this, the related charger, and also the iPhone chargers. Next, I've got my Northbound AT guidebook. And so this will be one of the things, along with an app on my phone, that'll show me waypoints along the way, where the campsites and campgrounds are. And then also I saw somebody do something really cool where they marked every place that they stayed. And so it was a way that this kind of was like a little diary and a little journal for them. Next, an Black Diamond spot headlamp. So to help me see, help me potentially hike at night sometimes, but just also to be there around camp at night. The next thing is really important. It is a carabiner and a set of paracord. And so every night I will have to hang my bear bag of food. So everything that I that I eat and that I have as food and have as smellables, I'm going to hang in a tree every night. And so for this carabiner and this rope, I will use to hang up my food and the bear bag that holds it. Next is a really important thing, and this is a Sawyer squeeze, and this is my water filtration system. And so for water, I'll be carrying 2 smart water bottles, and I will attach this to one of them. And this is a Sawyer squeeze that you really can actually just fill up water from a stream into the smart water bottle and then drink straight from this. And so this is gonna filter water for me throughout the trek. And then next is a little pocket knife, a little Leatherman pocket knife, and multi-tool just to help me out. Never know when you're gonna need it, but it'll come in handy along the way. Some honorable mention items that didn't make it into this video are all the stuff sacks that I'll be carrying my gear and my food in to help keep it stay dry, my Frog Togs rain poncho that's gonna help me stay dry, a small pillow that I'll blow up every night, toilet paper, hand sanitizer, and a first aid kit. So all of this stuff that I'm gonna carry in my pack weighed it in yesterday, and it comes in at around 17 pounds, which is a really good base weight. And base weight is everything that you've got in your pack except for food and water, the consumables. And so food and water adding about 2 pounds per day and carrying but anywhere between 3 and 5 days at a time, I expect my pack weight to come in between 25 and 28 pounds, which is pretty good. With less than 10 days to go until I set out on the trail, I'm extremely excited, still getting stuff ready at home, but then also wanted to say a big thank you, because so much of this gear and so many gift cards and so many Mountain House trail meals and so much support has once again come from my parents, from my wife Lauren, from her parents, from so many other family members, and then also a big thank you to Lauren, because all of this stuff has been stored in the guest bedroom of our house for so long. So I took over an entire guest bedroom, laying out all of my gear and getting it all together. I'm extremely excited. The next time I make a video, it'll be getting prepared, getting ready to go on my way to Amicalola Falls to start my thru hike of the Appalachian Trail. We'll see you on the trail. They think they're funny.
We should do a blooper reel.
Bloopers!
What was I gonna start out with?